Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Paps, a rising VTuber and an artist, and I just dropped my pen, which was that sound that you might have heard just now. Happy 4th of July, I guess? I briefly forgot what day it was. It is the 4th of July. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it is the 4th of July. It's been one of those days, you know? It's been one of those days where you just don't understand, like, what day it is anymore. The long weekend threw me off a little bit over here. But I'm feeling good. I'm feeling up to it. I am feeling ready to go. Kabir, how you doing? Yeah, I think we're ready to get right on in. As soon as I put on my little glove, find where my digital pen is. Where did it go? Oh, okay. Digital pen is right here. Aha! Understandable, yeah. Good, and you? I'm doing pretty good, thank you. Oh yeah, I need to put on the jersey. Hang on. And where is it? There it is. Ta-da! Alright, now I am ready to art. Okay, let's head on over to the working screen. Alrighty. Just audio off. Alright, let me just kind of crouch on into my corner here. And we can turn on Clip Studio Paint. Boop. Oh, you're also in Team Bloom? Nice, nice, nice. Alright, so this is the character we'll be working on today. It's a character from a friend of mine named Toast. Her name is May. Probably it's supposed to be May. I guess like maybe it's got like spring connotations or something. Alright, there we go. And we can just kind of shift her over here. So I think this is going to be like a proper posed one. So I think the way we're going to do this is, first off, get a body type in there. I'm not good at judging how tall people are usually. Hang on. I'm going to like shrink the model and then put it next to her so I can like get an idea for how tall she's supposed to be. Alright, so it's been a while since I've actually used Clip Studio Paint. I've been a bit held up with stuff like with those exams that I was talking about. So it's been a hot second since I did anything with it. Okay. Around there, I think. And for height, I think around there would be good because then you can kind of have the heels and the you want to make them a little bit higher because they're kind of like bent over just a little bit. All right, so then zoom in on that. Yeah, let's look for some poses that might be nice. I've got kind of a vague idea for what I want to do, but I'm not entirely sold on it yet. So I'm just gonna look around and see what we've got. Man, it's been a while. I missed this. I've missed just scrolling through the list of poses in here. Alright, eat a meal might actually be good because like she has a very witch vibe, you know, so maybe it's like riding a broom or something? I'd like to have a cool pose though, it's been a while. Big hat, yeah, big hat. Big hat, phenomenal, gotta have it. And I used to be really obsessed with hats. I don't know if it's because I played TF2 or I played TF2 because I was obsessed with hats or vice versa. But I did have like a small hat collection a while back. I'm sad I got rid of it, but you know, I couldn't take it with me, so there wasn't really a point. Yeah. Alright, hang on. We can work something with this. Hang on. Alright. Joint for the coin is somewhere around there. Hang on. What did I just do with that? Oh, that... Okay, that's painful looking. Don't do that. Okay. Okay, I've got an idea. So how about kind of similar to this? Hang on. Alright, kind of in this pose. Alright, so the idea I think is to have her kind of reaching into this bag of stuff she's got there. Okay, so what I'm thinking is... Okay... Alright, maybe around there. No, it'll have to be from the other side. Okay. Alright, I've got an idea now. Yeah, flex. Yeah, I imagine this pose actually takes quite a bit of abdominal strength. You know, it is like a you know, kind of generic cute anime girl pose, but like at the same time, you've got to have some decent core strength for that. Alright. Yeah, I mean, you always know, like it is that kind of idea, right? That like the more control that your particular discipline needs, the more kind of yoked you have to be. So, for example, like you know, ballet dancers, right? They have to be pretty well fit because like you need a whole lot more control than say if you were just kind of, well, obviously it is kind of like a utility thing. So, for example, if you're doing proper combat sports, you need like what do you call explosive power, or I forgot what the technical name for it. It's not isometric. Isometrics are like where you don't stand. So what am I doing with this arm? Oh my goodness. Okay, how about we just kind of oh wow, that is... Okay, there we go. That's much better. Okay, I think this one can just kind of be hanging onto her hat. Right, hang on. Then just kind of like this. I mean, yeah, like it does take different kinds of, what do you call, strength to do different types of sports. So for example, like a swimmer might not need the same kind of muscles as a MMA fighter, or, you know, even like a track and field person. Like, I know like a track and field person would need like pretty strong, what do you call, hamstring muscles, because I think that's like the muscle that generates power when you're running. Yeah, that's something that I didn't understand back when I was in track and field, that like the quadriceps isn't what generates running power, it's actually the hamstring. The quadriceps is what generates stopping power. Okay. Yeah. I didn't know that at the time, so I just kept doing squats and hoping for the best. Honestly, those were like some of the hardest... That was some of the hardest training I've ever done, but at the same time, it's probably also the healthiest I've ever been. Yeah, cardiovascular strength is whack as hell, because if you don't keep cultivating it constantly, you will lose it in like a week because your heart is just so hyperactive. Okay. Alright, yeah. Then like that. Alright, then we kind of just center all this. Maybe like this angle would be good. So maybe, okay, we got this angle, and we got this angle right here. Hello, my dearest friend Pab. Hello, my dearest friend Leov. How you doing? Alright, we got a... Okay, so let's just kind of drag this over here. Very well. Alright, y'all know the drill. Time to get the timer out. Alright, so I guess it's like 2.5 minute timer. Alright. Where's the browser source? You would do this to me on like the day that I decide to live stream. Well, I don't know when else you would do it. I don't know. Alright. Alright. Let me loosen up a little bit. Shake it off. Okay. And time starts Now. Alrighty. Yeah. You're shaking already? Well, that's because I need to get into position, right? I'm doing a pretty wide one this time around. I don't know why I took off the art glove. I need to put it back on. Oh, man. Man, I hope nobody else has that many points today. Not gonna lie, it is always funny when it happens, but it is also, like, a little bit of a strain on the old physique, you know? It's not exactly something you can keep up for, like, a while. Alright. And back here. I have 16.9k. Hi, Toast. Oh god. I am so happy that I made it so that thing has a 15-minute cooldown. Oh my god. You have enough to do 3. Alright. Well, whatever. If I die, I die. I accepted the risks of this when I first became a VTuber. You don't go into VTubing without being willing to put your life on the line. Bro, you still got 2 minutes? Are you fucking kidding? Wait, is that like it? Oh. There we go. It's because I minimized the browser tab. It didn't like update while I had it minimized. Oh god, okay. Ooga saka, ooga saka, ooga saka. Damn. Alright. She's got kind of chubby cheeks. Not too chubby. A little bit taller. Okay. Like that. There we go. Also, you should get into Pure Ref. I don't know what that is. Pure Ref. Pure Reference? I don't know what that is. A pure reference. I'm guessing that's like an art style where you like completely draw off a reference. Pure ref. Oh, that's time. Okay. It's a program you can use to copy and paste refs to. I don't know. I think I don't. Did your bone just crack? No, that was me sitting down, probably. My chair is much creakier than my bones. Or at least I hope it is. If it isn't, then I have some other things to worry about. Yeah, pure ref, huh? Yeah, the thing is, right, I like having the references, like, on screen where I can see them, but I don't like having them, like, I prefer being able to see this and then go back to it, because I feel like that makes me... I don't know how to put it, like, if I like, look at the reference and then I go back to doing my own thing, kind of like this, I feel like I'm able to put a bit more of my personality into it. Like, obviously working off a reference is all well and good. You know, I use 3D models for goodness sake. But it's like, even if you use models, you're kind of like, what do you call it? Quirks and such still need to come through for it to have like a recognizable style, I think. That's my take on it, at least. Okay. Alright, there we go. Okay, so the eyelashes are very kind of thick up top. So I can make this a little bit thicker as well. Oh man, I am sweating a little bit, huh? Goodness. Okay. Oh, nice thick eyebrows too, nice. Actually, I think I'm gonna have both our eyes open. I think that's fine. Okay. I think I understand a little bit about how it works. There we go. All my OCs have potato wedge eyebrows. That's a fun way of looking at them. Potato wedge eyebrows, yeah. I don't really think about eyebrows too much. It's like shoes for me, right? I don't think about them until I have to draw them. Unless like the character has like a very specific eyebrow shape, like they're one of those characters that have like just dot eyebrows like that. I usually forget about it. Or I draw a line or something. Okay. But yeah, it's a fun trait to have. Like it's fun. It's very like distinguished. And I remember a while back I tried reading a book called like something like the rules of manga or something like that. It's written by the guy who does JoJo, Hirohiko Araki. It's basically like a how-to book about like manga narratives and such, and like some of the traits that he's noticed over time. And some of it is very interesting stuff. I actually quite enjoyed reading it because he also like has a lot of examples, and you know he makes it a very interesting read. I don't agree with all the principles, or at least I don't think I see the point behind most of them, or a lot of them. But at the same time, like I understand what he's talking about a lot of the time. And one of the things that he pointed out is that recently it's become more and more common for girl characters to have like very thick eyebrows. Like it's like in vogue or something. Meanwhile, like a lot of the traits that like you know how like manga characters used to be like a lot more masculine. Like nowadays it's all like pretty boys and such. Like with good reason as well, because like they are a lot of fun to draw. I guess it's like easier to pose and whatever. But you know, back in the day, they just had like all these burly ass dudes just kind of running around, and they used to have like very thick eyebrows and all that. And like nowadays, it's like more in vogue for the girls to have thick eyebrows, which I find very cool. Nah, no Fang. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, I think I erased part of her mouth there. Oops. Come on. Yeah, that's a bad thing with the vector lines sometimes, is that you can't exactly tell where everything's going. I think I'll thin them out a little bit at the end as well. I think I got it. Okay, go with that. There we go. Thick eyebrows are the best. Hell yeah. Go. Man, I think like earlier today, right? I was looking through some of those weird random playlists that they have on YouTube sometimes, right? Like I found like this one that's like a bunch of like hits from like the 2000s and such. And while I remembered a lot of the songs, I actually didn't know quite a few of them. Like for example, Heartbeat Radio or something like that. I didn't actually remember listening to that song. I don't remember that song, but everybody that I've talked to is like, yeah, I remember that song. It's like a classic. So I always got a little bit tripped up by that. Like I don't have like a whole lot of exposure to like mainstream music a lot of the time. Actually, sometimes I do, but like not always. You know, I'm definitely not gonna be like that guy that's like, oh yeah, my music tastes are so niche. It's just that I just like never like learned to listen to like mainstream music. I think the most I did was like my brother teaching me about like Gorillaz and like Blink-182 when I was young. But I think like that's the extent of it. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Right, her face. I'm making her face a little too short, I think. I'm gonna like raise these up a little bit. There we go. Yeah. But yeah, it's little things like thick eyebrows, moles, and all that that really like give more, well, character to a character. You know, I feel like if, like, I remember somebody pointed out that like they remembered more if a character has a mole than like if they have like a particular shade of blonde hair. Which is fair. There's a whole ton of like blonde-haired people out there in terms of like anime and such, but like, you know, they don't show like moles and such very often. Usually because it's a little bit difficult to remember to draw them, I guess. Like I know that if I gave a lot of like my characters like stuff like that, like, you know, like moles and like, I think the only one that I consistently remember is freckles, and that's because like it's just like I really like freckles, so I think like that's why it's easier for me to remember that. Alright, there we go. Okay, so I think first we gotta draw the hat to figure out how much of the hair we gotta draw. Move this off to the side here. Freckles are great, yeah. I really like freckles. Alright, and then kind of swoop in there. Hi Pabs, I like your new jersey. Thanks Blue Icarus, how you doing? It's been a while. Yeah, I put on one of these jerseys for the art fight thing. Connect vector lines, here we go. And then simplify these out. Alright, use the object tool here, and I see the problem here. There we go. Oh good, how have you been? Good, good. Coming out of some stressful stuff. I'm doing well. I'm actually very happy with where I am right now. I mean, it's not gonna last because I gotta go back to classes soon, but I'm gonna make the most of it, you know? It's no good worrying about the future when, like, the present, you still got so much of the present right now. Okay, there we go. Let's put that together like that. Big ol' hat. I was gonna be like, is she wearing like some kind of like veil? But no, that's just that's just the foot from the model. Oh dear. Okay, and then this is gonna kind of come in like this a little bit. Oh yeah, this is like a witch hat, so it needs to be much more billowy. Okay. And it kind of ends in like a very large kind of like sock, windsock kind of looking thing. There we go. Glad to hear you're enjoying the here and now. Yeah. It's been a decent kind of long weekend, you know. I've worked a little overtime, sure, but I've had my fun. I've you know, I've got some plans for what I want to do. I've got some ideas for what I want to do. So it's all good. It's all good. Okay, over here. The ring on the hat is bothering me. Okay. This maybe? Yeah, and then we can just have the 2 little ferns kind of poking out there. And wearing like small bits of herb as a fashion statement is such a cool idea. Like, if I could like walk around with a little bit of parsley on me, a little bit of oregano on me, I feel like my life would drastically improve. And it's like, I feel like that's almost the answer to, you know, these kind of like scentless policies that have been going around. Like, don't get me wrong, I like the idea of making spaces more accessible and, you know, just not having scents in there, because I am also somebody who gets easily overwhelmed by like strong scents. Also, yeah, exactly. Also potentially fragrant. So I think like a good middle ground would be to just have very like subtle natural fragrances that maybe only you can notice, but like aren't too intrusive, like herbs and spices. That being that being said, I could easily see that going out of control if like some dude decides to dab a little bit of liquid smoke behind the ears. So, you know, maybe in moderation would be the best. I know one time I was really hard up to kind of like smell nice for an event. I think like I like a friend of mine said like, "Hey dude, do you have your cologne with you?" I'm like, "No, I fucking don't." There's this soap I got from Lush recently that smells heavily of oregano. I do love it. Ah, that's so nice. Anyway, my friend was like, "Hey dude, do you have like any cologne for this event that we're going to?" And I'm like, "No, why would I have cologne? I'm a 17-year-old." and he's like, well, all right, maybe you should go and find someone. I'm like, I don't know. Okay, sure. So I like, you know, instead of maybe doing the reasonable thing and maybe borrowing some from my dad or some from my dad or something, I just went to the baking goods cabinet and I dabbed a little bit of vanilla extract on my wrists. I regret nothing. It was absolutely busted of me to do, but like, it did work. It did work. I did smell like vanilla for a little bit. Not too much, but like, you know, it was serviceable. It works. Pabst the tasty. Oh my god, yeah, I hadn't even considered that. If I start spicing myself up for people, I'm just gonna become more of a target. Yeah, I've tried not to avoid thinking about this, but I do wonder if, like, I consider myself human. Like, even in, like, my rice form, I still think of myself as decently human. So, the idea of, like, somebody eating me is a little weird. I mean, I guess you couldn't, like, eat me whole, because, like, you know, I am, like, I am the rice bag, not like, the rice itself. So, I guess I'd be okay, but it'd still be kind of weird. On the bright side, I could provide a nice loophole for that weirdo Hannibal that I keep hearing about. Why are you talking about war? I'm not talking about war. That's... I guess I am, huh? Alright, I think that's a good place to end this train of thought. You know, we're pulling up to the station. Everybody grab your belongings. Make sure you didn't leave anything in the little passenger seat. File up in an orderly fashion. We've come to a full stop. Please exit your seats. Unbuckle your seatbelts. Have a nice flight. This train can turn into an airplane. Whoosh, off you go to Argentina. That sounds like you can drink humans. They're full of this tasty blood, but as long as you don't finish it, they'll be fine. I mean, I'll be also fine if you finish the rice inside my bag, right? Like emptying the bag isn't the issue. The bag will regenerate rice, and that's how I come back. Oh, my bad. I tapped all that before we got to the plane. No, it's fine. Okay, it's fine. This airplane has Wi-Fi functionality. You don't need to turn off your phone for this one. Alright. Let's see. Yeah, that's the thing that really blew my mind. I don't know when it happened, because, like, I don't remember when it happened exactly, but I know that planes now very often have been tapped out, and I heard you say you're talking about war, and I was like, was that Leo? Yeah, no, you got it in one, JP. Yeah, how you been? But yeah, I've been on planes like a lot. Like I have been on more planes than I can count at this point. And I don't remember when exactly it was that like planes started having Wi-Fi. Pretty Gucci. How about you? Oh, that's great to hear. You know, I'm doing my best to live in the moment. Feeling pretty good about stuff. I'm feeling more hopeful about stuff. I always joke that like I have a little breakdown day once a week where I just like stress the hell out about everything. And I think that was yesterday. Everyone talking about being eaten. Well, I mean, how else are you gonna treat a snack like myself? I'll see myself out. Anyway, what else have I been thinking about recently? I will kill you. It's cute that you think you can put me down for good. Actually, you very well might be able to. Perfect little snack guy. You think I'm cute? Anyway, all right, let's see. Okay, yeah. There we go. It's so much fun drawing these. Like, it feels very relaxing to do these raids. So how long have you been doing Art Fight? Since around 2018, I believe. Yeah, I think the summer of 2018 was the first time I did it. Right. I remember that because it was the summer my parents moved for the last time before I went to university. Yeah, I after I graduated, I basically had like what was it, like about a few months to basically just do whatever. Okay, so yeah, basically I graduated sometime in obviously kind of like around May or so. Then June and July kind of passed me by, and yeah, I think that was when we were staying at our old house, and then we moved to a new place. That was kind of a nightmare. But thankfully, I got Art Fight out of the way before we moved, so that was a blessing. Yeah, the new place was nice, but like it had a lot of stuff that could be better. It was kind of bad, actually. It was really kind of bad. like the storage unit got flooded constantly. It was very hot. The closest grocery store was like way far away, and there was no good way to get to it. Like, oh dang, sucks to hear about the bad move. Ah, that's fine. It's like what is it now? Yeah, it's been like almost 4 years. I think with this August it'll be like the 4th year now. So that was fine, you know. I only stayed there for like a month anyway because in September I went to university. You know, I did not have to suffer it long. My parents, on the other hand, they got stuck there for like a year. Oh, they invited me back for winter, and it was one of the worst experiences I ever had. Not just because, like, you know, it was quite a trip from where I was going to university, but at the same time, the house was really bad with the heating. So it was just always constantly cold. I remember I kind of like just played video games all the time because I was just like too tired to do anything else because it was just so dang cold. Okay. Okay, they kind of join at the crown here. Around here. There we go. Kind of like that. But yeah, I remember I finished Jet Set Radio and Bayonetta that year. That was an interesting time. I like Jet Set Radio just fine. I really like Bayonetta. I'm not very good at it, but I liked it. Yeah, I was neither good or... I didn't like Jet Set Radio, but it was like... It was one of those things that I'd be like, okay, everybody talks about this game, like everybody references it constantly. Hideki Naganuma is an absolute beast at making music, so let's give it a play. And I was playing it on mouse and keyboard as well, which might have been a factor as well. But yeah, did not have a particularly groovy time with that game. I mean, the music was great, but like everything else about it was just kind of difficult. I remember reading that like back in the day they used to make games much more difficult because like in reality, like logistically speaking, you couldn't fit a whole lot of content into game cartridges back then. You know, even once we moved over to the CD format, to get like a proper long form story, you had to use multiple CDs. So, for example, Final Fantasy VII, I remember had 3 discs. So what ended up happening is that they actually made the games much more difficult. Yeah, it's actually like a thing. It's called Nintendo Hard. I think it was the like unofficial term. But basically, the idea was to make the take-home games as difficult as possible. For 2 main reasons. One, because a lot of the take-home games were based on older arcade games, which means that if you made the arcade games hard, you know, the kids would lose more often and they'd spend more money on it, which meant more revenue for the owners. And then the second reason was that when the games got ported to the console, what would happen is that a new game would cost like $60 like it does now. And, you know, the parents aren't exactly super hyped to spend that much money on something they think is like devil worship or something. So what they ended up doing is that they ended up padding out the games through fake difficulty like that. And that way the kid could like play the game longer without really like having to buy a new one. In a way, it was good for the kid because I guess they like got more playtime out of it, just trying to beat it and everything. But it made a lot of older games much more difficult. That logic seems to make sense. It's like how a lot of big games try to generate more content with the open world stuff, even though it's mostly just repeating stuff for fluff these days. Yeah, it's a similar concept, right? I've never really understood that so much because, like, I feel like these days you can actually get away with having less content. You know, you have like this game that's like costs like $80, sure, but like if it's like a really well-made game with high production values, I feel like you can almost get away with it a little bit. More so than you could before, I mean. And yeah, it's all about the quality. Yeah, I know a lot of people have like that sentiment, right? Like they'd rather play one decent indie game that costs them $20 for 2 hours than, you know, some AAA game that costs them $80 that can last them 100 hours, but it's just like fake padding and all that. I know a lot of people have made that kind of like preference. Yeah, I mean, you do find things that are like a little bit of both. I know that a lot of games these days actually have like a lot of emphasis on like replayability. You know, I think that's why there was like that boom in roguelikes that happened. That might still be happening, actually. I'm pretty sure it's still happening. I don't know how popular roguelikes were kind of like as a genre. I know like there were quite a few of them even before the kind of like boom we've seen recently. So like for example, like I mean, Dwarf Fortress is one of them. What is another one? Vulture Hack, I think it's called. I don't remember. There's a lot of them, but it definitely is much older than like the boom that I feel like we're seeing these days. I don't know. It's like I'm not a game developer. I'm not somebody who's like deep into the game industry. I'm just a little bag of rice who games from time to time, but it's something that I've noticed as well. Okay. Oh. These are actually quite wound up a bit more tight in the reference, so I'll have to do that a little bit more. There we go. Like I said, there's something very zen about just doing repeating patterns like this, like braids and such. You know, after like obviously it's like a little bit of a, it's a bit of a grind, obviously, but like after you kind of like get into the rhythm of it, there's just like you enter like the state of flow, which is just very nice to do. Yeah, I remember something that I used to do in university, or at least I think I did it like one time. It wasn't like a regular thing that I did, but essentially what I ended up doing was that in my first year of university, I think in the winter term, I'd noticed that I'd had a lot of papers accumulated over time, and I thought to myself, oh man, this is a lot of paper. I wonder if there's like something I could put to it, because like a lot of them were things that I was just never gonna revisit. Excuse me. Like a lot of it was stuff I was never gonna revisit. Like, for example, like a computer science class. I know for a fact that I was never gonna revisit that because I was a business major and that was like a computer science class. And you know, unless they like made me open up what's that thing that Microsoft has? It's not like Base. It's like Microsoft has this like database program, which is part of like its Microsoft suite. I don't remember what it's called off the cuff, but OneDrive? No, that's not it. That's not it. Access. I think that's the one. Access. Microsoft Access. Microsoft has a database program called Access, which I had to learn to use in my first year of university. Yeah, Microsoft Access. I had to learn how to use it in my first year of university for a computer science class. And let me tell you, that sucked. Like, the thing is, right, they didn't give us like particularly hard assignments. They were just like weird. They were like difficult to do. Like assignments themselves were like very, like they gave you instructions. They gave you step-by-step instructions. Hang on, I'm gonna look it up so you guys can see as well. That's definitely one of the more obscure guys in that Microsoft family. Yeah. Hang on. Yeah, I know the. Yeah, here. This is the logo for it. Microsoft Access. I've also learned to use Power BI since then, but that's been more of a general kind of learning thing. Power BI is interesting. It's it's very cool. Like it lets you visualize a lot of stuff, but I very rarely get the chance to use it. I know him. You know this man? Where were you on the night of the 29th? I'm kidding. But anyway, yeah, I think it is like, what do you call? Anyway, I had, like, that was like one of the things that I learned in my computer science class. Getting back onto the topic of what I did with all those papers, I had a bunch of papers left over from stuff like that, and I thought to myself, hey, I know how to make paper cranes. Why don't I kind of make use of these and make a bunch? And I did. I actually had so much paper that I didn't manage to make enough origami cranes to use it all up. But I actually remember making like like an entire trash bag full of origami paper cranes. Like one of those little plastic grocery bag kind of fulls of paper cranes. Hold an umbrella. Go. Is that gonna also do the other hand? It doesn't matter the other hand. It's a lot of cranes. Did you make 1,000 and make a wish? No, I remember I got up to like 300 or so. But yeah, after that I was just... I didn't remember that legend. I didn't remember that like if you have like 1,000 cranes, you can make a wish. But I didn't manage to get to that many. Okay, the sleeve isn't actually that wide. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like put the sleeve like around here. There we go. But yeah, I did a lot of cranes that like, I think it was just one afternoon. I just made, like, I had like nothing left to do, so I was just like making cranes. God, that summer was really, really weird. That was like the last summer before the pandemic, actually. So what ended up happening was that I decided to keep going through university during the summertime. And because of that, I had to be put into like special student housing because the normal student housing didn't have like kitchens or anything. Yeah. Well, no, I think like I didn't make them all in that one afternoon. I think like I had just been making a habit of making, you know, kind of like papers that I wasn't gonna use anymore into paper cranes. I did have that habit basically, and what essentially happened was that I think like I did end up making like 100 or so that one afternoon, but I had like I definitely had at least in the hundreds before I started that with the like big cleanup. But yeah, I made a lot of paper cranes that day regardless. A lot for one guy, one relatively inexperienced non-professional origami making guy. I do wonder if professional origami is like a thing. I mean, like, I guess you could probably use it as a basis for content creation, right? Like, if you get like a TikTok and you're just really good at folding paper, I mean, I'm guessing that could be a source of revenue, right? Yeah. You know, anything can be monetized so long as you're willing to give up your dignity. That sounded really harsh. I mean that in a good way. What I'm trying to say is that even if you, like, a lot of things can be monetized no matter what. I think it is about like, or maybe paper art in general. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, I know that I used to be really impressed as a kid. I think I'm obviously I'm very impressed still now. But I remember that as a kid, I used to be really impressed by stuff like papercraft. Everything's monetizable, especially misery. Sheesh. It's like that one Simpsons clip. Could you kids lighten up a little? Did you know that there was ketchup in barbecue? In barbecue sauce? Yeah. Yeah. Ketchup and barbecue sauce. That makes sense because like tomatoes have a glutamic acid. I think it's glutamic acid. I think it is glutamic acid, which is kind of like a lot of basis for savory flavor. So that makes sense that it would have ketchup. Yeah, I think barbecue sauce is like brown sugar, ketchup, Worcestershire sauce, a little bit of soy sauce, maybe. Definitely a lot of ketchup or some other kind of thickening sauce to make it all like, you know, as thick as it is. What the fuck? That's how he tasted. I think I saw on a cooking show once where somebody improvised barbecue sauce with ketchup and hot sauce. Oh yeah, hot sauce would also be good in there. The wife chapel, how's that bump on your 5 head? Okay, there we go. Man, I've always seen people wear like these like puffer jackets, right? Like these jackets that have like little puffy sections. Still hurts? Aw. Make sure to get some ice on that, okay? Man, bumps aren't the worst, but they are pretty bad. You know, like, it does suck to get a bump. It hurts because I whacked them? No violence, okay? I know we play a lot of violent games on here, but no scuffles, or I'm picking both of you up by the head like the Sim, not the Sims, the me, like those characters in the Me channel. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Like, you used to be able to pick up Miis like this with like the glove and the Wii. Like, oh. Picks you up and you wiggle frantically. Hang on, I gotta block this fool. Where is this thing? I can't click out of it. Let me click the linky. No. All right, hang on. And Bannerino. Pass through that guy out of the chat like a weak character. Hang on, I gotta finish this drawing now. Yeah, kind of like that. That was the funniest thing to me. You can do also /ban or block. Oh, neat. Yeah, I want you guys to imagine like a Tom and Jerry style, kind of like me just picking this guy up by like the collar and the belt loop, and then just like chucking him out the window. Like, I want you to imagine there's like a pair of saloon doors right beside me specifically for that purpose. And stay out. Yeah, I feel like I would be very bad as a bartender, but I'd be decent as a kind of grumpy ass bartender who like never actually serves alcohol. I feel like I could be the grumpy landlord of a bar and play the part of a grumpy bar's landlord pretty well. Alright, hang on. Gotta figure out how this is gonna kind of wrap around. You should just be a bouncer. Surprisingly enough, bouncers aren't supposed to like escalate shit that quickly. I learned this a while ago that apparently bouncers are actually supposed to be like very charismatic. Not all of them are supposed to be built like a shit brick house. Although I do know that there was a BBC article one time where they interviewed this village in India where they were basically just like raising bodybuilders. And a lot of them went to become bouncers in New Delhi. What a riot. Yeah, no, like, obviously, you know, if it comes to that, you got to be able to hold your ground, but I think, like, the main preference is that, you know, you just kind of, like, talk it out with the person in question, and just kind of de-escalate the situation, because then you not only keep the customer, but you also kind of minimize any kind of damage to yourself, to the property, etc. You know, de-escalation works, or, you know, it should at least. It works in favor of the bar owners, which is why it's more popular to be like that rather than the guy who kind of Yakuza style. Our village's #1 export? It's big boys. Yeah, our village's name literally translates to Huge Guys Unlimited. Okay, there we go. Come on. What is this, like, line here? Oh, that's just, like, from the pixels, I see. There we go. I love the de-escalation tactics. Well, it's fun to have violence and fighting in fiction. I'd rather have de-escalation in real life. Yeah. I mean, there's some problems that shouldn't be solved with de-escalation, but, like, it's definitely the go-to choice for a reason. Okay, there we go. Alright, there we go. Cool. I'm gonna need to remember to make the bag also. Okay, so I think that can kind of like be like this. Yeah, it definitely doesn't and can't solve everything. But you know, it can solve a lot of things, and that's good enough, you know? It's important that nobody gets hurt. Yeah. Like, the thing is, right, when you, like... I don't know how to put it. I feel like a lot of people go into learning martial arts thinking like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna be like Bruce Lee, I'm just gonna be karate chopping dudes left and right. And I feel like that's something that they get snapped out of very early, partly because of just how much fun they might be having, but also because like it's important to realize that, hey, you really shouldn't just go around beating people. Like that's not a healthy. That's not like a mature mindset. Basically, it's not a healthy mindset. Karate is self-defense, isn't it? I mean, judo is like a lot of self-defense. I think judo definitely has a lot more emphasis on self-defense, just kind of naturally because of the way that you know, you kind of practice it. So with judo, you're supposed to like basically be held onto the other guy at all times. Like every single stance and throw in judo basically stands with two dudes gripping each other's collars like this. Oh, you have to use it defensively. You can't instigate things. I mean, yeah, that is one of the things that they teach you, right? Yeah. No, like I think that is also partly depending on like the kind of whole culture of the dojo. So I know that the dojo that I went to for karate for a little bit, they at the end of every class they basically had to make you recite a bunch of the principles of the martial art, which part of it was just don't use it to attack people, just use it for your self-defense. And I think that's a healthy thing to kind of like incorporate into it to that extent. Okay. Okay, I gotta thin this line out a little bit. How are we for time? About an hour in. That's fine. Okay, that's good. That's a bit too much, actually. Hang on. Oh yeah, something that I learned the other day while I was researching Savat for Roland was that apparently a lot of the higher kicks in karate nowadays actually came from Savat. With your interest in fighting, I'm surprised you don't practice any martial arts as far as I know. It's been a little bit difficult with, you know, the pandemic. It's made it a little bit hard for me to kind of like get out there and go to a proper class or something. I know there's a boxing gym near where I live, which I've been interested in, but yeah, I just have not felt safe at one of those for like a while. Not because of the people. Again, not because of the people, but because of like the pandemic thing. It's making it a little bit difficult to kind of like do any strenuous exercise with a lot of breathing involved in an enclosed room with a lot of people, you know? It puts a little bit of a damper on the situation, if you could imagine. But I do still like practice some stuff that I've already learned. Like I do still occasionally do like the kata from the karate that I've learned. Which isn't much, I only know like 2 of them, but like I still practice them from time to time because it's just fun. It's just good to just feel yourself doing that. Okay. Go. Perfect. Yeah, public health is a good concern. Well, not so much public, so much as it is personal, but yeah, basically. Man, where I'm living, they're gonna shut down all the COVID protocols, like, starting Wednesday, which is making me extremely nervous. Like, the thing is, right, where I live had a pretty good run in terms of, like, COVID, because, like, first of all, it's a smaller city, so it's not at much of a risk. But also because, like, they just haven't had, like, too much stuff. The public comes first. It's awful, Pabs. I mean, by being safe, you are helping keep the public safe. Yeah. Yeah, no, it is. It's bad. I am actually quite nervous. I like, you know, at work, I used to just, like, go across the street and get some, like, boxed lunches and stuff. And that was fine, it worked fine, but at the same time, like, now I'm just like, but there could be the plague there. So it is a bit of a pickle. You know, that's kind of like what came to mind first. Like, oh my god, I've just been like, like, the thing is, right? People have already been kind of acting like that already, and I don't imagine like every business will kind of let go of the protocols that easily. Yeah, I still wear a mask meanwhile everyone went maskless and immediately started coughing and sneezing like no one's business. Yeah. Yeah. Like, I go to out to places and I'm still the only one wearing a mask, and it pisses me off a little bit. Like, I understand why they feel safe, but like at the same time, it does feel like, you know, we did this for like 2 years already. Why are you still playing a stupid game to win a stupid prize? Technically, I'm not, but I feel same. I'm too nervous to not wear one. Technically, I'm not, but I feel like a rare species. Oof. Yeah. Only sexy people wear masks. Yeah, exactly. If we took off the mask, we would bewitch the public body and soul. Alright. Alright, here we go. Gotta have them scrolls in the bag. Gotta have them. Now I kind of want roll cake. I don't know. I just get very hungry sometimes. I had like 4 hard-boiled eggs before stream, so I don't know why I'm hungry now. The masks have become a key integral to my fashion sense now. Even after years, I will still be wearing them. Yeah, I had a set of like really nice masks, but I have had them since like basically the beginning of the pandemic. And I'm not gonna lie, they were starting to get a little bit grody. So I recently replaced them with a bunch of like more generic black masks that I got a 3 set of in Amazon. Okay, there's some more herbs and spices in there. Generic black masks make me feel so sexy. They do make you feel like a... Yeah, like the thing is, right, like I had some very cool patterned ones, but at the same time, like there's something about the black one that just makes you feel very classy. You know, it's like you're not just like the only dude wearing a mask in the room. You're also making it look really good. No. I know that for men's fashion, a big kind of component of it is just kind of simplicity. Like, I know, for example, like... how do I put this? Like, for example, the reason that, like, a lot of men's fashion is just, like, having the blazer... Like, men have suits, right? Oh, god damn it. Alright, let me get a sip of water first. Alright, where's my browser? Yeah. Yeah, I got redeems now. Alright, let's see. Okay, pop the web browser. I demand you drink more. Alright, fair enough. Also, the posture check is gonna be kind of naturally part of the horse stance. Alright. And the timer is on. Let's go. Anyway, I remember there being like something about men's fashion where like the simpler it is, the more mature it looks, right? I've never been super into fashion, so I can't, you know, validate that advice at all. But it does seem to make sense. Like, you know, you have suits which are basically just like 2 colors, you know, unless you've got like some kind of crazy pattern. I know, Pabs. Well, I mean, yeah, you have like that like sweater dress thing going on, so you know about that simplicity thing. I still think about your tie apron dish gloves outfit. That was because I was being a silly goose, and you know it. Also, men's fashion should be bolder, in my opinion. I mean, that can't be true as well. Like, I feel like, you know, recently there's been kind of more of a push towards that. I mean, I see more dudes wearing Hawaiian shirts these days. Myself included, I do have like at least 3 Hawaiian shirts. 4 now, because I recently got a pair. Not a pair, just one, while I was out thrift shopping with a buddy of mine. It was a pretty good haul. I doubt? Hey. I mean, I actually did get a very ugly tie. I haven't set the start of the timer, have I? Fuck. God. No, I was already in horse stance. I've been in horse stance since I got up. Fuck. Whatever. Well, how much was it? Like 45 seconds? Pain. Unimaginable pain. Okay, okay, so we got some 3 vials here. I'm gonna draw 1 and then just copy and paste it. Okay. Oh man, my legs are actually shaking. Okay. We still got like a minute 40 left. Oh, fuck. Okay. I do like how Toast has just been like radio silence. If you concocted magics, what do you carry in vials? Semtex. No, probably just some kind of rice wine or something. I do like how Toast was basically just kind of like waiting in the shadows like the fucking Phantom of the Opera and then just like striking out of nowhere like that. like he was just biding his time back there. Assassination Catboy. Alright. Put the knife down, please, I'm already suffering. Alright. Put it down, Toast. You don't want to do it like this. This isn't how you want to fight me. Actually, it's how I don't want you to fight me. I would very quickly die to a knife. Knives are one of my many, many, many weaknesses. I have so many weaknesses. I have like negative resistances. I feel like when they were making my character stats, they just like, you know how like when you have like resistance statistics for different stuff, they just set all of mine to like -100. Okay, this could be a slightly better test tube. All the rice will spill. Oh, there we go. Who doesn't have knives as weaknesses? Superman, I think. I can't... Okay. Ow. It happened again where, like, I stood in the pose for so long that, like, my legs locked up. But that's why your funny and art stat is so high, that's true. You know, I have been doing that, and they did min-max me. Okay. Oh, my ankles. Okay. Well, no, it's not like they locked up. It's like, have you guys ever done that trick where, like, they told you to stand in front of a doorway and they made you hold your arms like this? And, like, they told you to, like, push upwards like that? And then, you know, like, 30 seconds later, they tell you to, like, step out of the door frame, and, like, you wouldn't be able to stop lifting your hands up like this? It's a little bit like that. You know, like, I was in the squat position for a while, so my legs were just kind of, like that now. But I am gonna try... No, but I am gonna try that after stream. Yeah, no, it's funny. Like, just, like, standing in the door frame and, like, just put your hands against... What happened to my recent follow button? Hang on. What? Oh. I think like it got like... Yeah, Wario's operating system. They're also a very fun channel, but I think they're also on Archfight, actually. Wario's operating system. Yeah. I think they're also on Archfight if you want to look them up. Wario OS. Yeah, it's very efficient, but it automatically mines Bitcoin for you, and it is also very... It does make your computer smell like garlic for some reason. It has like such a certain specific kind of like heat operating temperature that like it just makes your computer smell like garlic. Hang See, here's where we need to simplify stuff. Garlic bread. I would be insulted if it was WarioWare that didn't mine my computer for crypto. Yeah, I feel like that's very in character. Man, the other day I found this version of that song, like Nothing's Working Out. It's a little bit of an edgy song, but basically it's like about this dude who's like panicking about like, you know, how he hasn't like made anything of himself and all that. It's about like anxieties growing about in like young adulthood and all that, I think. And somebody made an edit of it, a fully animated MV of it, where the dude singing was Waluigi, and it's like really good. It's like weirdly good. I was sincerely impressed by the quality of it. Yeah, it was Waluigi. Okay, 3 of these, huh? Whoops, I missed a spot there. Okay, get the second one like over here. Nope. Then over here. Then over here. Okay. Man, this is gonna sound a little mean, but I really do hope that Waluigi just never gets into Smash ever. Because it would be so funny if that was the case. Like, everybody was just like, please, everybody's just been like, please, put Waluigi, put Geno or something. Put this in Smash, put that in Smash. And just a stalwart refusal to have him in there is just admirable. Fuck the Waluigi lovers. Like, I understand that you like Waluigi, but like at this point, it'd just be so much funnier if you didn't get what you want. Like, I have nothing against Waluigi lovers, but like, at this point, it would just be so funny if it just never happened. I do wonder, right? Like, when is like, obviously they're gonna keep making Smash games as long as it's bringing in money. Like that's just kind of how it goes. They're gonna keep making a game until it stops making money. You know, that's why they're making Morbius 2 for Pete's sake. Morbius was never a video game, by the way. I'm talking about the movie, but same concept that like they're never gonna stop making a video game series until it stops making them money. That's why they know, like, that's why, for example, like Activision knows they can release a new Call of Duty every year and it'll still sell because that series practically prints money. Wait, it actually got money? Morbius? Enough to get a sequel. I think it grossed like 58 million overall. So, you know, it's not like, it's a very modest amount, but like, yeah, more BS. It grossed a modest amount, but it's still grossed enough that they can make a sequel, so we are gonna have to deal with that when we have to deal with it. If ever. I mean, I'm wondering if like nobody is just gonna run over Jared Leto in a car, maybe. But, you know, even when that happens, it's gonna happen when it happens. I feel like that's become a thing recently, where like people just like make memes out of movies, and like I can't help but feel like that it's like almost like a, not to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but like it feels like for a lot of movies, especially ones that should logically flop, like there's been some kind of like weird meme kind of inertia behind them that just leads to them making like enough money to make another movie. Like, for example, I think that's been going on with the Minions, right? Like, don't get me wrong, I think those movies are harmless, basically, but like... The one time that I'm proud of the internet is how they made the second showing of Morbius flop. That was very funny, actually. Yeah, if you haven't heard that, apparently like a bunch of people are showing up to screenings of Minions: The Rise of Gru in full dress jacket, dress clothes, full suit, three-piece suit. The Gentle Minions. Those are the guys. Yeah, I feel like logically, like again, I don't have anything against the Despicable Me series. I'm sure it's a fine series, but like. I feel like more and more often what we're seeing is that people are just making memes out of these movies, and regardless of the actual quality of the movies. And I feel like that, like, while it's funny, it is also going to be kind of bad for like it's going to send like a bad message to people who have a lot of money to burn on making movies. You know, like, you don't actually have to make good movies, you just have to make them bad enough that people are going to want to see them anyway. So it makes me a little bit nervous in that regard. Yeah, but companies will wonder. I mean, they did try that with the second showing of Morbius. Like, that wasn't already a thing that happened. Like, obviously they got shut down hard that time, but like, yeah, it is basically free publicity. There's no such thing as a bad publicity. That's like rule number one, right? But yeah, it does worry me a little bit. Like, it does worry me that eventually corporations will just be like, okay, yeah, we can just make a movie and like, if we have enough meme potential, enough people will kind of like come out here and see it. And that is concerning. That is concerning to me. I've never been a huge movie guy, but like, I know some people who are, and I know that like, it's just like the sanctity of the medium, right? Like, if movies can be perverted that way, why can't live streams? Why can't... I mean, I guess live streams are already kind of monetized by nature, aren't they? But like, it is concerning as an artist seeing like an art form get like perverted like that. You know? Alright, how are we for time? Okay, about an hour and 20 minutes in. That's good, that's good. Okay. Okay, so let's flatten this a little bit. Okay, there we go. Neck part goes here. I should drink some water. Oh yeah, speaking of things that should be flopping, I've learned that apparently Bitcoin has apparently been tanking so hard these days that apparently they've gone down from using 204.5 terawatt hours for energy, and they've basically downgraded to like, I miss how like mid-budget movies used to be a thing. They're being completely erased between big budget safe bets and indie scrappy productions, and I would like art to have some decent funding. Yeah, we love the fall of Bitcoin. Yeah, they've gone from like 204.5 terawatt hours to 132.87 terawatt hours. That's like 80 terawatt hours less. But what pisses me off is that that's still as much power as like Argentina uses. This neckline is like really low, so I think like maybe almost around here. Yeah, it's not falling fast enough is what I'm trying to say. Like, rip to you if you put your life savings into it, but you really should have read the room a little bit harder. Alright, over here. Die sooner, you bastard cryptocurrencies! Yeah. Okay, this needs to taper out more towards the end. There we go. Okay. Then we got another part of the jacket over here. Which is to say the arm. Yeah. Oh yeah, on slightly brighter and slightly weirder news, you guys remember how like a while back they found a mold in Chernobyl that can apparently eat radiation? Yeah, if you never knew about that, in the Chernobyl exclusion zone, I think a while back, they basically found this mold that could basically feed off of radiation, which was super interesting to me because, you know, radiation is something I'm not super into messing around with. So it's good to know that like it can be somehow kind of taken out faster. But they found kind of like an equivalent to that for plastic, or at least plastic foam, which is the darkling beetle larvae. Yeah, basically this type of beetle larvae will really love to munch on polystyrene, which is a main component of plastic foam, which is really cool. I think it's always great when like nature can pitch in towards fixing the planet. I mean, I know it shouldn't be expected to, but it's nice when it does. I do wonder what happened to that like mold that could eat radiation. Like, did it like breach containment or something? Did we eventually like learn how to use it? I'm guessing not, because otherwise like they would have made a bigger stink out of it. But like, you know, you do wonder what happens to discoveries like that, right? Like, you hear like this thing in the news once in a while, like, oh yeah, they found like the end of plastic wastage or something like that, and it just like never gets followed up on ever. Like, they just like never follow up on it like a month later, like, hey, remember that solution that we were talking about? This is how it's going. Yeah, it's a little weird about that. Anyway, speaking of cool scientific stuff, apparently later this month, NASA is gonna give us the deepest images of space that we've ever had. Yeah, apparently they've launched this deep space telescope called the Webb. The Webber? I think it's called the Webber or something. And basically it's gotten far out enough that it can take some very, very deep photos of space. I'm not sure how space telescopes work. I imagine there's like a pretty decent time lag between like... Right, hang on, this is bothering me. I feel like I need to raise the neckline here a little bit. That it just makes sense with the bag. Yeah, space is so cool. I cannot wait to see how deep space looks. I hope there's like whales or something in there. It's been a while since we have had like an alien scare. I feel like we could use a fresh one. I had a dream that one time, like, I think I had a dream that once upon a time, I don't actually know if this is like a thing that actually happened or if it was just a dream, but I'm pretty sure it was a dream that like aliens had established contact with Earth, and now we were just kind of like waiting on them to basically text us back. You know, kind of like with bated breath. I remember it happening close to New Year's. Again, I don't remember if that was like a thing that happened and it was just a hoax, or if it was just like me having some weird dream. Oh yeah, it did happen? Yeah. That's good. That means my first dream of the new year wasn't that we were getting taken over by aliens. Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty sure that's like a really bad premonition if your first dream of the new year is being visited by aliens. That sounds like a bit straight out of Azumanga Daioh. Okay. Move this over here. Actually, maybe around here. Go. Yeah, I remember when I was like not much younger, but like when I was in high school, A lot of my art projects use a lot of space imagery. Like I used to be, oh, this is the wrong layer. Like I used to take samples from the 2-mass redshift survey. Hang on. I'll pop up in a picture of it because it's really pretty. Hang on. I'm trying to find it here. This thing. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be. I don't know which area of space it's supposed to be, but I do know that it is very pretty. I just liked looking at it. Oh wait, here we go. Hang on. Yeah, so it is like basically a huge map of like a lot of different regions of space. So, for example, here's the Cetus wall, the Pisces Cetus supercluster. I don't know where we're supposed to be. But I just really liked looking at this. I liked like incorporating it whenever I could. I liked like the idea of just being able to see stuff. BH for C. I don't know what that means. Yeah, I've just really liked looking at it. Space is so goddamn cool. Alright, back to work though. But yeah, I remember using a lot of that in my, what do you call, like, I remember using a lot of that imagery and such. I just basically go on Wikipedia, see which images were like free to use based on Wikimedia rights. So cool, so terrifying, just like the depths of the ocean. Now, the depths of the ocean are scarier to me than space, because like, in space, you know that like a billion different things would happen, but like, I feel like the fear of the ocean, the fears that the deep ocean brings, are much more visceral than like what is in deep space. Because like in deep space, right, you know, like there are these things, right? These theorized things called like loose stars or something like that, which basically means that the way that I understand they were formed is that in a binary star system, which is where like there's two stars very close to each other and they kind of like, you know, they kind of like circle around each other due to their own gravity. Sometimes one of those stars bites it for some reason, but this other star still has a lot of that kind of momentum. So it basically kind of like goes really, really fast forever. Basically forever until, unless like you know something that has enough force to stop a fucking star traveling at multiple millions of it basically fastballs a star. I think like you can also do that with black holes or something, and it's very scary because if one of those things is out there, a planet could have like literal seconds of forewarning before it happens. Yeah, bigger stars are black holes, yeah. So, like, I understand that concept. Conceptually, very spooky, right? But I've never been attacked by a star before. I've never fought a star before. You know, no human on Earth, I am pretty sure, has fought a star before. On the other hand, you're not helping my fear of space? Listen, it's just out there. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's fine. But the thing is, right? You cannot fight a star, you just lose. I mean, I don't know. Have you tried, is what I'm asking. Have you tried? Not the sun, though. If the sun dies, I die. But like some other random star. Alpha Centauri. Go pick a fight with Alpha Centauri. Nobody's using Alpha Centauri. Anyway. Space, spooky, right? That's some spooky shit right there. However, like I said, you've never fought a star before. Nobody's fought a star before. You cannot properly kind of comprehend the fear that would come from fighting a star. On the other hand, I've been near wild animals. I understand what that's like. So if a friggin' whale or deep sea fish pulls up on me, I know exactly the kind of scared that I'm gonna be. That's like a much more visceral primal fear. Like, humans have been at risk of getting eaten since like forever. So that's a much more kind of personal, much more kind of primal, much more kind of grounded fear than, you know, getting bodied by a fastball star. You know? That's my take on it, at least. So space is scary, but like the ocean is scarier. I guess perhaps I should just learn that life is full of dangers and I cannot reasonably mitigate them all. Well, if it makes you feel any better. Like, I mean, in space, if you were pushed and have nothing tethering you, you're forever floating from that direction with nothing stopping you. So the abstraction reduces the fear. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, that's basically the concept of it. So, if you can't understand why it's scary, why be scared of it? You know, it's that kind of feeling. I mean, obviously, you know, this might not help at all, Kabir, you know, like, but like, for a while, I was also kind of a little bit obsessed with like the ultimate fate of the universe. You know, the kind of like big what if, what then question. And it turns out that there's a couple different scenarios that I won't bore you with right now. But the idea is that, essentially, all of those are very unlikely to happen. Just statistically speaking, right? We know that those fastball stars are out there. We know that they're out there. We know that black holes are out there. We know that all these different spooky-ass things are out there. But broadly speaking, we live in a very safe neck of the galaxy. we like, the close calls that Earth has had are so small compared to what they could have been. Like, Earth has been in danger like a couple times. Like, you know, sometimes, right? You'll hear on the news like, "Oh my God, this huge meteorite might hit the Earth," and like you're like, "Yeah, we live a booby white suburb of the Milky Way. Yeah, our neck of the woods is a gated community, cosmically speaking." But yeah, essentially, I think like we're in a relatively safe part of the space, and a lot of the thing is, right, the only kind of star that's particularly close to us is the sun, and that's a very stable star. A lot of these bigger things, a lot of these more kind of like powerful, kind of like reality shattering disasters are usually the result of stars doing weird star shit. Gated Milky Way? Yeah, basically. But yeah, a lot of these events are just stars doing weird star shit. And because the only star that we have to worry about won't really do much of anything except keep doing what it's been doing for the past billion years, for like a while, you know, it's gonna be fine, you know, it's not an issue. We don't have like enough like weird stuff in our neck of the woods to kind of justify being afraid of like the potential weird stuff out there. We know Soul. They're very predictable. Yeah, he just cannot hit those overheads anymore. Everybody knows his moveset. He's like Mario. That was a little Guilty Gear Strive joke there. Anyway. But yeah, so cosmic stuff isn't all that it's cracked up to be. Like, sure, you can think of it as in like huge Dragon Ball Z type power levels, right? About like, oh my god, this could be like a huge cosmic disaster. But frankly speaking, I got the skirt completely wrong. But like, also frankly speaking, it's generally not going to be an issue. At least not for us, and at least not for a few million years. And who knows? By the time we grow old, we may very well have like planet-busting technology on our hands. I'm honestly hoping we discover some kind of like what do you call some kind of means to achieve a post-scarcity utopia before I die. You know, I'd like to live in like the kind of kick off the Star Trek kind of Earth for at least a couple of years before I bite it. It's unlikely, but I hope it can happen. I mean, granted, I do also have plans to have a samurai behead me at the age of 75, so I don't have to suffer the discomfort of infirmity, but you know, that's for another day. That's a discussion for another day. Okay. Let's see. Okay, increase that a little bit. Death plans. We've all got them. Who knows if they'll be fulfilled? Right? Like, I feel like at least once in your life you've been asked, like, hey, what's like, if you had to like choose a funeral or like choose like some way for your corpse to be presented, how would you like it to be? Honestly, I don't have a huge preference. I think I'd like to be cremated. I feel like cremation is definitely like one of the better ways to kind of just, you know, get served to St. Peter, if you will. Yeah, I mean, my grandpa was cremated. I think like a lot of my family members were cremated, so it's not exactly a difficult choice. You know, if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me. Cremation is so good, and also I know it's unreasonable, but I'm scared of zombies. That's not that unreasonable. Not for any particular reason that I can explain, but like, yeah, I could see you being. I could see that like why that would be an extra point for the cremation camp. You know, a few points nudging you toward cremation. So good in that I want it done for me, and also I'm from a culture of cremation. Plus, burials are expensive. God, though. Who's screaming? Cremation, dude. Cremation. Yeah, cremation is so good. It sounds awful out of context. Anyway. God, that reminds me of this friggin' horror story that I heard about. There was like this cremation home, right? In... I don't remember which state it was. Maybe Texas? I'm not sure. But essentially, the people there kind of pulled a clown car on... Like, legally speaking, you're supposed to only cremate a... Legally and morally speaking, basically, you're only supposed to cremate a certain number of bodies at a time. You know, in one oven. Ideally, it would be one. Because, you know, that way you don't get your dear sweet grandpappy's ashes mixed in with some stranger's ashes. Some other grandpa's ashes, you know. It's a common decency kind of thing, you know. It's a little bit of respect for your dear sweet grandpappy. But at the same time, like, it's also just a safety thing, because if you stuff too many corpses in one thing, that is like fuel, and that is gonna like that will result in some bad stuff happening. These people did not see the problem. So essentially they had like 8 or 16 corpses in one crematorium slab at a time. And eventually they got busted for it, and it was really bad. I know that cremation in America has had like a really rough kind of starting career, so to speak. I think like they had to like basically, I remember the way they did it was they basically had the dude who was trying to pioneer cremation in America, because, you know, America, mainly Protestant. I don't think cremation is all that common in like Catholic places, but I know my grandparents were broadly speaking Catholic, so I think like maybe at least there's a little bit of that in there. Not sure, we'll have to verify. But for some reason in the Americas, cremation just did not take off for a while, and this dude essentially had to like go touring with his crematorium to kind of like show people like, hey, it's not that bad, and it's much cheaper than getting a full burial. Again, very, very weird angle. Like, I imagine the vibe in the room must have been pretty friggin' weird for most of the time, but like, you see the kind of practicality of it. To this day, that's still true. I've always wondered about like what it was like to be like a what do you call? Not a groundskeeper, a mortician. I've always wondered what that involved. Also, don't mind me trying to draw this thigh over and over again. I just want it to be like just right. Speaking of cremation, I've heard there's also more environmental processes to do away with the body, so to speak, so I'm kind of interested in alkaline hydrolysis too for myself. Oh, really? I've never heard of that. I know hydrolysis is like using water to take stuff apart. I know that's how they recycle certain lithium-ion batteries. Yeah, I know that like basically the way that you recycle lithium-ion batteries is that you basically like first have to shred them, and then you have to like separate the shredded materials in like a special process. There's that lady with a YouTube channel that I've heard nothing about good things. I think it's Ask a Mortician. Ooh. I might have to check that out. I feel like somehow that would be a very relaxing kind of afternoon. Oh, yeah. I don't know why, but I feel like... I guess due to the nature of their jobs, they just have to have a very reassuring presence, right? Like, I feel like you can't be a mortician if all you do is kind of like rile people up. You know, you're trying to bury the bodies, not create more of them. My friend, environmentally friendly. Fire, as much as I love her, is bad for the environment. My friend's parents are Catholic, and they said that it was making them unable to resurrect or go to heaven, from what I remember. Oh, really? Huh. I don't know, might be just a family thing for me, then. But yeah, that I would see how that would be like an argument for like not getting cremated if you are particularly religious. Yeah. Every place and people have their traditions. I mean, yeah, I mean, like the Vikings, for example, had cremation rituals, and that certainly didn't seem to stop them from thinking they could party hard with Odin in Valhalla. Yeah, I feel like when you first learn about them, like funeral pyres sound like the dopest shit ever, but then you kind of start to realize the logistics of it, and you're just like, nah. Got a boat made of fire, all just for me. Yeah. Are these platform heels? No, they're not. That'd be fun, though. I've always wanted to try wearing platform shoes. I don't need them in particular. Like, I don't particularly need them, but I just feel like they'd be a lot of fun to wear. Just bog standard heels, yeah. All right, I might have to tweak the feet a little bit then. To kind of maintain the kind of silhouette here. Yoink. And a yoink. These ones too. There we go. Man, I like always was kind of afraid of starting to draw people with heels. Mainly because I've just not had that much practice with it, but also because like I remembered like seeing Rob Liefeld's art, and I was like, if I start to draw people with heels too much, I'm just gonna become just like that guy. A friend of mine from high school used to wear them, and I loved the look. I remember before I became friends with them that they always wore a very goth-heavy look that made them stand out at my school, and I remember seeing them and thinking how cool they were. Aww. Yeah, we all have that like one dude in high school that we look up to. You know, I used to have a friend like that I thought was like one of the cool kids. I think she just had problems of her own that I didn't really understand. Plus, I want to be taller. That's true as well. I just feel like it'd be fun, you know. That reminds me of that one picture. I think like somebody took a picture of like this party where like the whole idea was that people were supposed to stand on like little buckets. Right, like when you walk through the door, right? Like if you walk through the door, they basically like give you a pair of bucket shoes to make you match a specific height, so that everybody would be the same height when they were in the room. Which is just very funny conceptually to me. What do you do if like one dude who's like really tall steps in, but like do you have to like pre-vet the people who are attending the party so you just know you have enough buckets on hand to like kind of accommodate everybody, or like how do you do that? Like, will the person who comes in and kind of and is taller than everybody else in the room, will they kind of like set the new standard and everybody will have to like move up a size? Yeah, it's so funny. Yeah. Like, logistically speaking, I understand, but like at the same time, it's got to be a nightmare if just some tall, lanky dude shows up to the function. 6-foot guy walks in. Alright, break out the bigger buckets. I mean, one alternative to that is to just have everybody be friggin' huge, right? Like, just make it so that every party, everybody has to be 9 feet tall. I don't know how much that is in meters. It's probably a decent amount. It must have been like an art thing, right? Yeah, I imagine so. Like, I don't imagine that's like a regular kind of nightclub. I imagine like if it was, it would be kind of like a bowling shoe type situation where like, you know, they just have like a huge amount on hand, and that just does not seem pragmatic. Buckets, fun though they may be, are not exactly known for their ease of storage. Okay, there we go. Yeah. No, I do imagine it's been like an art thing. God, I've been to a decent few number of art galleries in my time. You know, part of it being just like me being naturally curious about that sort of thing, but also me just kind of being an art student for a little while. Yeah, maybe it was also a social science experiment of some sort. I imagine it must at least feel for the people who are short before very cathartic. You know, just not having to look up all the time. Must reduce a nice bit of neck strain. These don't feel like sleek enough, you know? Maybe if I like do it like this. Yeah, that feels a bit better. That reminds me of, I'm not sure if it's Finland or Sweden, but apparently you can get a free bucket due to an incident in bucket shortage. Oh, really? Nice. Yeah, I think I read about that somewhere. Like, apparently, like, for some reason in one of those, like, Nordic countries, it's very popular to have buckets as promotional items. You know, kind of like, you know, you have your shirts, you have your stickers, you have your little pamphlets, and then you just have the bucket, you know, to carry it all in. I imagine it must be very popular, but among the custodian demographic. Okay, let me take a look at these. Okay, I think I get it. Yeah, very resourceful. Yeah, I imagine. Yeah, that is kind of like the kind of ingenuity that gets somebody a promotion. I mean, who doesn't need a bucket? Exactly. I need a bucket. And, you know, like, buckets are very multi-purpose things. You know, you use them for... You know, you use them for cleaning, you use them as a little footstool, you use them to hold your food, your trash, and everything. It's handy, it's useful. Okay. Okay, I think the thing to do is to add the rest of the foot here. And then try to figure out just how it goes. There we go. No, hang on. Alright, so it needs to be like over on this side. There we go. I'm comfortable with that. But yeah, buckets are handy. I think I only have one bucket, really. I technically have like 3 buckets because of the way that the trash bins in this country are shaped. But I do have like only one kind of proper cleaning bucket, and it served me pretty well throughout the years. By which I mean the single year. I moved into this apartment like a year ago, a little over a year ago now. So you know, it's been handy since then. I remember that our dorms used to have basically, right, like the way the plastic bins in this country are shaped in Canada is that the recycling bins are shaped in such a way that they basically look like buckets. And that's very useful because what I used to do if I needed like a tray of water or something was that I would just like grab my plastic recyclables basket and just use that as a bucket if I needed to. Thankfully, the dorm rooms later came with their own mops and buckets, so that was at least one less thing I had to worry about. Yeah, once I moved out, I had to get my own, though. Okay, there we go. Alright, after that, I think we can get started on the coloring. And that's good, too, because we're kind of coming up on time, almost. Not too soon yet, but, like, soon-ish. Alright, here we go. Oh, yeah. Another thing that I've read about recently is those, apparently there's this program, right, called Magic Sketch Pro, I think it's called? Which basically you make a sketch in the website, and it uses those kind of like AI-powered arts to finish off the rest of the sketch. It sounds interesting. I've never really used those AI art things for anything other than for like fun, silly little projects. Like one time I tried to. Have you guys seen that thing called DALL-E Mini? A lot of people have been using it. It's basically a free AI art webpage where you can basically type what you want into a little box, and the AI will basically make that thing that you wanted based off of like algorithms and all that. It's very neat. I always like it when like some new ingenious thing like that. Yeah, the latest AI trend of AI generation. Yeah. I've always liked it when like people can do that, because like even if like obviously, you know, hate to be snobbish here, but you can't get the same kind of accuracy, the same kind of tailor-made from AI art that you can from like, you know, just asking somebody for a commission. I do feel like that's not gonna like put me out of a job anytime soon, you know. I look at some of these and I'm not feeling threatened. Alright, hang on. Oh, I missed her hair bun and the rest of the hat. Okay, so maybe hair bun first and then the hat. Yeah, fun curse stuff. But I think like it's very interesting because like, you know, there's a certain merit to going into something without having any idea about what it's going to look like. You know, if you don't know what something is going to look like when you start, then it's going to be a surprise for everybody, including you. There's something very cool about that. There's something very beautiful about that. But at the same time, you know, if you have an idea, a concept that you want to bring to life, sometimes you don't always have the imagination that you need to have to pull it off. Like, sure, you may have the creativity, but like, you don't always have the imagination. You don't always have the kind of like creative chutzpah that you need to kind of properly get it in motion. So in that regard, I think like maybe for like a concept even or something like that, it might actually be very, very useful. Not to mention, there's other applications besides art. You know, an AI, a neural network, you know, just making it make art is kind of a waste of its capacity, but like the way I see it is that if it is just like having fun learning how to make all these weird cursed images, right? I feel like that's only going to bring a benefit to the greater kind of technology as a whole. You know, maybe it's not going to be good enough to, like, you know, mass produce anime art or whatever. That my old school version of DALL-E Mini is when my nail polish used to chip real bad and I would see pictures in it. That's interesting. Yeah, it's that principle of like iconography, right? I read about this in one of those Scott McCloud books, where basically like there is like a certain degree of like there is a sliding scale, right, of like a super realistic face, right? Like this isn't super realistic. This is still like heavily abstracted, but like and you know, you have like this really heavy, very realistic face. Then you have like a smiley face. You know, it's kind of like the purest form of abstraction. And you know, in between you have like this kind of art style, this kind of anime art style, this kind of Western cartoon art style. I feel like anime does lean more towards the realistic to some extent. It is still heavily iconicized, but like, you know, they don't have quite as like weird, unique proportions as a lot of Western cartoons. They don't have quite as much flexibility in terms of like the use of shape language to make characters. Like obviously it's still present, but you know, you're much less likely to see anime characters with like really super weird fucked up designs, except like in One Piece, I guess. One Piece is like the main kind of one that I can think of. But like broadly speaking, most people will look, broadly speaking, like people. You know, very buff and beautiful people, but like people nevertheless. Meanwhile, Western cartoons can get away with a lot more abstraction because that's just kind of a trademark of the style. Okay. I do remember that one EDM artist, Searle, one time he made a song called Otaku Boy or something like that, where he basically generated the beat, the lyrics, and the video for it using like AI stuff. I'm not sure exactly to what extent he edited it afterwards, but like, it's a very interesting concept. It is kind of like cool to see it being used to that extent because, you know, if you also edit it, that's also a kind of art. It's also a kind of art that involves turning something into something else. You know, it's kind of like how music playing and music production are two entirely different skill sets. That's always something that really like that's always been something that really like scares me about like music. You know, I've always been interested in trying to learn how to make music and all that. I'm a very DIY heavy guy, if you can tell from my like self-made model, my self-made background. Everything you see on here is basically made by me. Except made for like the except obviously for like the background programming. Like I've made basically everything you see on screen. Again, with the exception of like Clip Studio Paint and all that. I love doing stuff DIY because I feel like I have a certain degree of precision and control over it that I normally do not. And you know, the one thing that I haven't been able to kind of nail just yet is music. I have no experience making music or anything. I'd like to have some more experience. Yeah, that's what makes me so powerful. Yeah, that's the source of my power. Yeah, the fact that I'm unwilling to let other people help me. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, I'm gonna thin out the lines a little bit here. Not too much though, because otherwise some lines will disappear, but just a little bit. But yeah, beat making and stuff like that is something that's always like been. It's always something that's been like super beyond me. A strength and a flaw. Yeah, that's how it is. That is how it is, because like I said, I do get like a nice degree of control. I do get to like make my silly little props and stuff like that because I just like doing it. And because it's fun for me, it's much easier for me to do than for like other people who, like, for example, in Vroid, you'd have to like make an entire 3D model for what you want and make a new separate model with the item. You know, it's a nightmare. And you know, I do know there's one streamer, Melanie Peon. Yeah, she also goes by the artist named Mary Cagle. She makes like a new model every time she plays a video game. Like, and they're like decently customized as well, which is a level of customization I can't achieve because I'm still not super comfortable with Live 2D. But like, you do get like that kind of feeling of like, I made this, you know, that pride of making it. Yeah. But I am hopeless at making music, so until I sort my shit with that, it's not gonna work out super well. All right, adjust line width. Okay, now we got to thicken up a couple lines that would look better thicker, and thin out some of the ones that are still a little too thick. So narrow it down, like for example, like this, the braids here could stand to be a bit thinner. Alright, I think we're ready to move on to the color stage. Let's check my posture, stretch my legs a little. Whew. Okay. But yeah, I love how cheerful the colors for this character are. Those did a really good job. Oops. What in the... Oh, I see what happened. Okay. These are the same shade of white, right? Yeah, okay. Alright. So let's pop one here. I think I forgot a detail on the skirt though. Let me just double check. Okay, yeah. There's like a little cross shape here. Please, Sippy. Alright, you got it. Sip acquired. Okay. I'm gonna come in. Why is that purple? Okay. Okay, so right here. Wrong color. There we go. Okay. Now it'll go like in this order, I think. Okay. Hang on, I gotta shut out this part here. And I spotted a little bit of an error here. There we go. Okay, can't forget the hand. Okay, this part here, and I guess this part here would also be... Wait, no, I got this messed up, didn't I? Oh yeah, I totally did. It's supposed to be alternating colors on the sleeve as well. Oops. Oh, we'll fix that in a jiffy. Okay, boom, 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 boom. Okay, there we go, like that. Okay. There we go, and then here. Oh. Okay, there we go. Yeah, checkered patterns are always really interesting to me because, like, I have a hard time reading them. I don't know how to put it, like... Like, I'm just not very good at, like, placing them, you know? Like, I feel like certain patterns communicate certain ideas about a character. Checkerboard patterns in particular indicate, like, kind of playfulness, I guess, would be the word. Like, most serious people don't, like, have, like, checkered pattern stuff, because it kind of, like, brings to mind a little bit like a gesture or something. Gotta run. Love the art. See you Wednesday. Alright, catch you later. Enjoy your day. Yeah. I think, like, in particular, like, bright checkered patterns like this. I mean, like, obviously it can also bring to mind chess or checkers, obviously, but, like, to me it always reminded me a little bit of, like, gestures and stuff like that, especially when it's, like, in bright colors like this. Or like a racing stripe or something like that. That's also a reason why it could be like that. Over here. Here we go, here we go, here we go. I gotta thin up the sleeve here a little bit, the cuff. Alright, narrow that down a little bit. There we go. Alright, now we do the other arm. Alrighty. I should save my progress. Hang on. Okay. There we go. Oh, I missed a spot here. I hadn't even noticed that. I guess the braid would have been thick enough to hide it, huh? Okay. Right then. Okay, right over here. There we go. Okay, then from there... Oh, forgot the heels. Should it be the other way around with like the lighter tone on top and then the darker tone on the bottom? I feel like that makes a little bit more... No. I feel like maybe they should be like homogeneous, you know, just one shade. Okay, then from there... Okay, we got this kind of like, okay, we got this kind of see-through color on the dress, so we'll handle that when the time comes. We should pick the background first as well. I guess we can probably pull that off with like some tricks with opacity as well. Ferns over here. I'm on the wrong layer. But that is fine. Looks very good. Thank you. Alright. Thank you, good bear. Okay, got the eyes there. There's something that's super pretty to me about like yellow irises. I feel like they have like a lot of potential. Well, I'm also biased because one of my OCs also has like bright yellow irises like this, so that might also be at play there. But I feel like they're just like a very pretty color, like this like very like orangish, yellowish kind of strong color there. Yeah, it looks very intense in a fun way. It's very bright. It's a very striking feature. Okay. Over there. Golden eyes, yeah. I forgot to turn on the time lapse for this, I think. Well, it's not like I've done those recently anyway, although it is a shame. It's always cool to see like the time lapse at the end of the project. Right. I missed a spot right here. Got a kerfuffle going on. But yeah. I've always really liked characters that just have like weird neon bright parts of their body. Well, not just parts of their body, specifically like hair and eye color in like a completely normal setting. So, you know, like they'll have like weirdly, like they'll have like purple hair or something, but they're just like in a high school romantic comedy. I think that's awesome, honestly, because I feel like when you do it like that, it's not just like it's not just also like, you know, part of like the genre, you know, in that kind of like anime style, right? I feel like it's also kind of like a bit more fun. It makes it a bit more loose. You know, it makes it obvious that like, hey, this is not something that you should take too seriously. You can kind of just kick back and relax. Although I'm also a big fan of black hair and, you know, just kind of natural hair colors as well. It is just basically how you execute it, right? You know, a lot of that can play into it. It's because like, well, no, I think like black hair always does just look very good because like, you know, no matter how you do it, you can have it like look silky or just be like a huge block of black ink. But either way, it always looks very cool. You know, especially if it's like a black and white comic, you know, you can either have the character, like, to use my good friend Mob over here as an example, you know, you have if you have like a solid black hair line like that, that's also very striking. But if you you can also like have a little bit more fun with it if it's supposed to be like silky or glossy. You know, kind of like a Rock Lee a little bit. Mob is great, yeah. Love that kid. That's like weirdly glossy though. That makes it look like they've got like calico spots on their hair. I know season 3 is coming soon, which is very exciting. I don't think I actually finished the manga, so, but I haven't been keeping up with the anime either. I remember I watched the first season of the anime and I thought it was really good. You know, they did a great job animating everything. They gave it like just enough kind of like goofy cartoon force. Yeah, I know a lot of people are excited for it though. I've not, like I said, I haven't been exactly keeping up with the anime, so I can't really, you know, be like 100% sincere in my anticipation. But I am glad for the people who, you know, are anime watchers and are now getting the content. Okay. The animators are shrimping on Reagan. I mean, that's fair though. I mean, he's just like some greasy con man in his 30s. Who doesn't think that's marriage material? One of my friends shared like this picture of Reagan from I think like apparently they leaked the opening or something, but they showed me like this picture of Reagan with his like you can see like a little bit of his brain a little bit, and I was just like, he's just like me for real. I might be able to find it. Hang on. Let me see. Oh, yeah, here we go. Hang on. Just gotta check a couple things first. Come on, where is it? Ah, here we go. And this is the one that made me go like, he's just like me for real. Yeah, like this is just what it is these days, you know? This is all, it's just this. Exactly, mood. Alright, so the scrolls have this kind of like papyrus color. I know that like apparently papyrus is actually like, you know, becoming kind of an endangered art form. You know, like the creation of papyrus is becoming more and more rare these days. You know, for obvious reasons, because like, you know, compared to just bulk making paper from trees, it's a much more involved process that can't exactly be mass-produced. Or at least I don't imagine it can be mass-produced. I don't know why you'd use it over paper, because like, you know, papyrus is more like a cloth than, you know, a proper, it's more like a cloth than like proper paper. Which I imagine feels very good to like touch. I'd like to try and read something made out of papyrus at least once in my life to just kind of know what it feels like, because I imagine it feels like a very smooth. Yeah. Alright. Although I don't imagine there's a whole lot of stuff that's being printed on papyrus these days. I'd have to go back to the Mycenaean age or something to get my hands on the good stuff. Although even then it would probably be in some language I can't read. You just can't win with some of these things, you know? Okay, there we go. Time machine. Yeah. Yeah, I'll let you know once I get my hands on one of those. Man, time travel as a concept is so weird. I've just never understood like the whole kind of I don't know how to put it. Like, I understand the appeal behind time loops, but like in time travel I've never really understood it. Like, yeah, you're going back to like such and such BC and it's cool and the world is untouched by technology. But like, what exactly I don't know how to put it. It's like, it's never, I don't think I've been like the right kind of person to appeal for it. Ironically enough, I did read the original Time Machine novel by H.G. Wells. Still not my thing, I think. Alright. Oops. There we go. Anything else that I missed? Some spots here. Nice, okay. We'll worry about the skirt once we got it. Yeah, it's got its own rules and stuff. Yeah, I know that supposedly the most realistic version of time travel has us kind of traveling to the future only, not to the past. So that's another point down, you know? Like, there's a first novel? Well, it's a complicated idea. I imagine that time machines have existed as a concept for like a while, but it was kind of like the codifying novel. Like, I think it's like the first time they called it like a proper kind of like time machine thing. Yeah, written by H.G. Wells, the guy who also wrote War of the Worlds. I used to be a big H.G. Wells guy as a kid, weirdly enough. Yeah, I'm not sure how exactly that happened. I think the way it happened was that I saw the movie The War of the Worlds, and I got kind of scared because you know, I was just a babby kid, and I wasn't exactly suited to weird apocalyptic violent movies. Yeah, spoiler alert for a 20-year-old movie. It's a bit rough at times. Very, very heavily the parts from the novel, as it were. But I remember I watched the movie and I was like, oh, it's scary, but maybe I can read the book. And like, I think I managed to find a copy of the book in the library because, you know, it's H.G. Wells is like a big literary name to some extent. Oh, neat. Ooh, I like how that looks. Okay. I think I got an idea of how to do this. Okay, so... ruler. Anyway, after that I just kept reading more HG Wall stuff. Eventually I ran out of whatever they had stocked in, like, an elementary school. To be fair, I probably didn't understand a lot of it. You know, English. Not only was English my second language, but, like, at the same time, I was, like, what, 8? Maybe? Probably, no, definitely older than 7, because, like, I started learning English, like, intensely when I was, like, 7, but, you know, I wasn't all that old. So I definitely my underdeveloped brain was for sure not picking up on some of that stuff, on some of, like, the underlying themes and stuff. Do these not snap to rulers? Hang on. I don't think... Okay, I don't think these actually, like... Hang on. I don't think these, like, texture brushes snap to a ruler. Spring effect, stroke, texture. Maze and stroke? No. Erase, correction. Enable snapping. Here we go. There we go. That's the way. I think there's a game that does proper timeline stuff. I think it's called Eternal Threads. Oh, yeah. I mean, I could definitely see video games definitely being the one kind of medium where, like, time travel is the best explored. I know Undertale, for example, was very good about that. You know, this whole kind of, like, time looping, time travel mechanic idea. Okay. Let's see, what else we got? Okay, so we got buildings. Buildings? Ooh. Yeah. But yeah, I feel like... Ooh. Oh, I like how this looks. Ooh. Ah. Oh. I feel like whenever I get a chance to use these, like, shape rulers, right? I don't get a chance to use these often because, like I said, I'm a very DIY kind of guy. But whenever I do get a chance to use them, oh boy. I just have myself a ball. Actually, I think this is pretty good. What else we got? Trees. Yeah, no. What about... Are there any other ones? Hang on. I think there's, like, an effect here that's like... Yeah, roses. Why aren't roses in... Oh, I see. It's because they're like that, huh? Okay. Cherry blossoms, maybe? Apple delight. Ooh. Oh my, those are really big though. Okay, so maybe not quite that big. Not quite that small either, so maybe about 1,000. Oh. Okay. I think I've got it. Okay. So keep this ring of leaves. Go up one layer, transfer the ruler. And then go back to this flower. Do the cherry blossoms. Maybe a bit smaller though. No, they do have to be fairly big. And okay. Then transfer the ruler back. Put more leaves everywhere. right here. Okay, then in between these layers, kind of like a sandwich, we will have a much larger kind of brush, just kind of like mimicking the branches of a cherry blossom tree. Man, it's been a while since I've drawn like cherry blossom branches. I remember I had to do it quite a bit for one particular art project. But they were kind of fun to do, like just kind of like making this kind of idea of vegetation is a lot of fun. Although to make them like more proper, you'd probably have to draw like buds on them, but I wonder how possible that is. I mean, if I did it on a vector layer, it'd be possible. Let's try that. Okay. And right around here, you'd have like a small cherry blossom bud. We can use that with we can do that with a real G pen. Okay. Actually, this whole thing would probably turn out better if I used the real G pen for the branches and the normal G pen for the blossoms. Okay. Okay, there we go. The idea is to have just kind of like a big branch just kind of like in the background here. Just kind of connecting this huge wreath of flowers. There we go. Then from there, what we can do is... Oh, boy, I am yawning here. Okay. Come on, shape up. Let's go. I don't know what came over me. Oh, that being said, I should probably make the cherry blossoms a different color from the rest of the white here, because if it is just using one white, then that's gonna be a little bit difficult to like tell everything apart. We can worry about that in a second, though. Okay. For the moment, let's put a layer over the cherry blossoms to give them a slightly different color. So what about... I mean, pink would be the obvious choice, right? Let's see how that turns out. Hang on. Okay, clip that, and then... Ooh, that's kind of a nice color. Ooh, I really like that, though. very intense, but it's not. It kind of clashes a bit with the whole vibe of the painting. Oh, that might be cute. Yeah. Okay, what about we make those kind of pinkish, and as a result, we can also make the... Hang on. I'm trying to put these into a folder of their own. For only the editing layer. And then maybe transfer that to like a little bit more of an orange color. Set that to the clipping, and orange does not look good with pink. Well, let's see what we can do though. Yeah, that kind of bright green might not be suitable. Okay, so here's what I think we'll do first. We'll try to figure out what kind of blending mode is best. Oh, actually, this might be interesting. Huh, okay. Alright. I think that's a pretty good start. So from there, we can just kind of color pick that color and put that in its own separate layer here. But we can also fill in the buds for the flowers. Like that. Although that does bring to question what kind of background color I'll have for like the whole thing. I'll worry about that when I get to it. Wait, no, this is the point where I get to it because I can't draw the rest of the dress without it. Oh boy. What about like an almost creamy orange white? Nope. Then maybe like a more kind of like rust color brown? No, that's also not that not exactly what I'm looking for. Oh, this is the winner. Okay, maybe kind of like an olive green. Yes. Okay. Okay, we got it. We got it. That makes me wonder about the color of the leaves and the flowers, though, because they're kind of, what do you call? They managed to become rather pink. With that pink, it kind of, like, clashes a bit with the green, not to mention colors. We can fix that up. Hang on. I've got an idea. So, merge selected layers. Okay. Definitely not green. Blue isn't exactly a great color for that either. This kind of hot pink might be... See, I'm also thinking about like the way it'll like interact with the hat a little bit, right? Just drink some water. We're kind of right back to where we started, huh? Well, maybe if I do something with the luminosity, it'll be a different story. I could also just try to apply it to the background a little bit. Oh, that's an interesting pattern, but not really what we're looking for. Okay. So maybe if changing the colors of the background is the answer, isn't the answer. So maybe change the colors of the foreground? No, hang on. Hold up. Okay. Okay, those seem like okay. Those colors I like. Okay. All right, then from there, skirt, right? Skirt. Okay, we can just kind of knock that out of the way. Kind of like a imagine like a lighter color like this, and with lower opacity. Okay, so I think the way to do it is to have the leg meat just kind of trace shape naturally across the skirt, and from there we just kind of add it on a different layer. I really shouldn't call it leg meat, that makes it sound weird. Let's take a look at the model for reference. Okay, so apparently I definitely went a little overboard on the thighs, but I'm not sorry about that. Okay, then from there. Okay. I need to bump that up to full opacity. Bump that back up to full opacity. Then add a new layer. And then we go for like the kind of olive green kind of thing. Opacity, let's call it like 78. There we go. Hang on. I need to be careful to not double dip on these. Because otherwise it'll ruin the idea of like what... Can't believe I didn't think of this first. I don't need to set the bucket to the opacity if I can just set the layer to the opacity. What in the gosh dang heck am I thinking? Hang on. Then from there... There we go. Maybe I play around with the kind of like the way it falls as well. Oh, that's cool. I like that. Oh, that's also nice though. Alright, so there's color and add so far that I really like. Okay, I think add is between the two of them, add was definitely like my favorite. Alright, cool. Oh, I forgot the little earring plug here. Alright, we can do that with just like a random dark blip. Okay, then from there we can start doing the shading. How are we for time? We got a little bit more time. We got this. We got this. We got this. Come on, we got this. All right. The way I like to do that though is to put the model over top the model, over top the drawing. I mean. Around here. Yeah, we got this. Oops, I activated the ruler. Don't need that. So from there, the idea is to, so the light on this, I think would be coolest from what angle? I think that's pretty good. Okay. Alright, so we duplicate this layer, and then rasterize it so that we have like a solid image of it. And they say you need a Clip Studio Pro to turn objects into 2D models. I'm still not sure how that works exactly. I think it's rather than like, the issue isn't that you can't turn them into 2D by just rasterizing them. It's that it like literally translates them into like a manga style, which I think is like what I think like EX does. I know a lot of people buy it just so they have more powerful animation capabilities, which is, you know, respectable. Okay, then with the soft eraser right here. Okay. Let's go this way. Oops, that's a 2-mass survey. Okay, I didn't mean to flip back to Reagan, but that's still very funny. That got a rise out of me. Okay. Reagan jump scare. Alright, then that's gonna peter out like around here, and at that point we can blend it out a little bit more. Okay. Here we go. Okay. This is gonna have like a huge shadow right here. Excuse me, I need you up top over here. Where? Oh dear. Okay, I seem to have mistaken where I put everything. Okay, now here we go. Okay. What was I doing? Right, the foot. Okay. That hard eraser to cut off those little like bits like that. The way that I've been thinking about those like little parts that are left when I fill in a line is that sometimes like I watched how to make like those like Gundam model kits recently. A friend of mine asked me for a commission related to that, so I did a little bit of research on how to make them. And you know, sometimes when you cut out a bit from the plastic, you kind of have to file it down a little bit with a file or something, or like cut it down to size with a with like an X-Acto or something, so that you can get like the exact right shape for it. And that's the way that I kind of think of this process. Like I'm just like kind of like filing it with an X-Acto. Okay. Okay. Back here. I might choose a different tone for the shadow on the skin because I feel like it's all a little bit rough, but we can also fix that later on in the what I like to call the post-production phase. Okay. Okay, then knee over here. It always feels good to go back to like proper digital art after a long hiatus because you like it's nice to see that I still haven't forgotten like at least the motions of it, you know. It's nice. It feels like I really like earned this knowledge, you know, when it doesn't go away so easily. And let's blend that part out a little bit. Okay. Alright, then from there, okay, so the neck, the hands would be the next stop, I suppose. I do like when characters have huge hats like this, because that always means that I can get rid of one hand by just having them hold onto the brim of the enormous hat. Thank you. I work hard on it, so I'm glad it's appreciated. Alright. Neck time. Fix up a little bit of the lines here. Here I am complaining about AI art when I'm basically just like manipulating the very lines on this thing. Yeah, you know, us and the robots ain't so different. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. Okay. From there, just gonna erase that. We're gonna need a finer eraser for this. Okay, and no, that feels about right. I feel like I need to add an upper lip. I probably should add an upper lip. Yeah, I think she had lip gloss on as well, so I need to remember to add that. Okay, so let's see. That'll kind of go on the original layer, right? Okay. We'll use some Millipen to kind of like fill it out at first. Over here. Okay. Then we can use a slightly like more yellowish tone for the lip gloss. I think at that point we can't just straight up use the G pen. Slightly brighter white. You really went all out. Thank you. Yeah. I try not to half-ass anything, you know? Besides, I'm having fun. It's been a while since I've been drawing, like, a full digital piece, you know? Bunny's piece was a lot of fun, but, like, it was also a pixel art piece. It's not, like, proper digital art, so it feels good to get back into the swing of things. Alright. We can work on that a little bit. We can work on the tone of that a little bit. Come on. Let's see. Whoop! Crap. I did that on the wrong layer, huh? Oh, that's fine. I can fix it up still, I think. Okay, brush density. Let's see, generalization. Okay, so even lower brush density a little bit. There we go. Didn't really notice since I was so used to your dropped over pieces. That's true. Well, I haven't been like this from day one, huh? Dropped over really helped me get better at drawing faster, though, I think. Or, you know, just drawing more in general. Like I said, I've produced more art since I've started streaming than, like, literally any other period in my life. Which is a good thing. I'm glad I'm having fun. Every artist struggle glares at layers. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I have a decent grasp on my layers. I try to like order them in such a way that I'm not confused when I just try and grab at them. So, you know, it's hard for me to resent them. I'm gonna try to blend this part here too because... Oh, that's on the wrong layer. Oops. Yeah, this one's on the proper, like, model reference layer. That's my bad. Okay. Okay. Okay, then from there... Oh, I need to do some extra little pieces for the hair trails. I like to call those antenna. Like whenever a character has like like long bits of hair just kind of sticking out of their head, I like to call those antenna, no matter what. And that's also what I call those like hair that anime characters have, like you know this thing? This thing. I like to call those antenna also. It just feels much more general purpose. Okay, I was gonna do something, but what? Right, the antenna. I love it when like whenever I like go on random tangents and I completely just forget what the hell I was doing. It's really fun because like it's a little treasure hunt for me to just like get back to where I was. It's like, okay, so we were like talking about like hair, antenna. We were talking about antenna. Oh, right, the hair antenna that I need to draw. I think that's more of a struggle for me than layering. Like I'm just remembering like, okay, I remember I needed to do something, but I don't remember what it was. Okay, then from there... No, that's not the right color. Okay, there we go. Okay, from there... Okay, next up we got the sleeves and the rest of the dress, I think. I think very quickly we can just tick off the hat, I think. That shouldn't be too hard to do. Okay, from there... Would that be right? No. No way. That also feels weird, though. Alright, maybe I just need to take an eraser to it and see how it goes. No, that's not right. Alright, just kind of judging from the kind of reaction to the light here. Here we go. Alright, that's the way to do it. Okay. Then from there, we can add a little bit of more infinite intense shadow back here. Here, no, wait, not quite. No, that also feels kind of wrong. I think maybe with a gradient it might be better. Hang on. Okay. Yeah, there we go. From this angle it will work as well. G. No, no. Maybe like this? Yeah, that works. Okay, then from there, move on to this part over here. It's really funny to me that whenever I end up in the kind of coloring part of the stream, I always end up becoming kind of like very business-like, because like the thing is, right, when it comes to line art, I don't know what it says about me that, like, I don't know why, but I find it much easier to talk while I'm doing the line art than, you know, to just kind of talk about whatever while I'm doing the line art than when I'm doing the coloring. For when I'm doing the coloring, it's much more difficult for me to kind of like naturally ramble on like I usually do. I'm not sure why that is. You know, maybe it's just like I'm more comfortable with the line art, or like maybe like there is like a certain level of engagement I have to have with the thing so that my brain works. Concentration 100. Yeah. Actually, I kind of like that the plants have like a little bit of extra like illness here. Oh gosh, dang it! There's another one. All right, let's try this slash ban trick that Leo taught me. Ha! How about that? Bad robot, go to prison. Do not pass go, do not collect 200 robot dollars. Alright. Your ass is going directly to robot jail. Oh yeah, that looks nice. Cool. Alright, then from there, I think we can move on to... Hang on. Gotta take something... Oh, take care of something here real quick. No, that doesn't make sense. It'd be the other way around, wouldn't it be? Not like that, yeah. That means I can also erase the line that's right there. Alright, then from there, what would be next is, I believe... Is this the one? No. Oh, crap. Alright, hang on, I gotta do something real quick. Alright, let's just cut and paste you out of there. Perfect. Okay, then from there, I think the next logical step would be to do the book bag. Robo jail, robo jail, robo jail. Yeah, I wasn't supposed to tell you guys this, but like they do as like a bit. Sometimes I put on a little cardboard box just so I can pretend that I'm visiting somebody at robot jail. And let me tell you, there are some broken souls in there. Sometimes I just give a random name and some dude comes up to me just because he wanted somebody to talk to him. Okay, no, that's a bit dark. I don't know. I don't think that's. I think that bit is a bit too dark. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure how to feel about the concept of there being like an arbitration system for robots, or like some kind of like punitive, you know, that kind of like reformative justice kind of system for robots. Yeah, robot legal system, including robot courts and robot, I don't know, robot bailiffs? I'm not gonna lie, I wonder if Phoenix Wright would have gotten as popular as it was if it had like robots in the main cast instead of like, you know, human people. I feel like it would have still been pretty popular. Some of the cases at least would have made more sense. I feel like that would be an interesting thing to do, like... Okay, so there is like this idea, right, of the 10 rules of mystery. They're a very old concept, and you can tell that because like they are. I'm gonna use the word fairly racist. Like, one of them at least feels a little bit racist. In any case, one of the classic rules of mystery is that you can't let like superpowers kind of interfere with the mystery. So like, you know, the reason why, or at least as far as I know, the reason why in Phoenix Wright only you can kind of use that kind of like Esper connection with Maya is because if the bad guys could use that, then that would be bullshit, because like you don't know exactly what the Esper powers can do, what they're capable of. So it's very easy for the writers to just pull it out of their ass and just kind of screw you over. Okay. Oh yeah, spoilers for a friggin' 13-year-old game now, I suppose. I don't know how old the Ace Attorney series is. It feels like it's at least 13 years old. It feels like it's at least been like a decade or so since the first one. It's definitely way older than a decade. What am I saying? At least it feels that way, you know? I know it came out during the DS era, so it can't be like super old. You know, it's probably not like 20 years old, but like it is at least. It's been around for a while, because I remember that like even when I was young, I'd still see like some people yelling like "objection" on the internet as a parody of it. So it must have like a few years under its belt, right? Okay. Okay. Wait, hang on. Okay, I know how to play this. It was made in 2001. Phoenix Wright is 21 years old. He is now officially old enough to drink. We're all the the Ace Attorney series is almost old enough for it to be the same age as Phoenix Wright himself, or you know, Nick, I guess it would be his name. Jeez. Man, this passage of time thing is super not what it's made out to be, huh? Okay, let's do that. Hang on, I gotta work with this guy a little bit. What was I doing? Right, this part here. But yeah. Man, yeah, nothing to make you feel old like learning how old a classic video game is. My stomach is making some weird noises. Yeah, that's a report from me. I don't know if that's TMI. I feel like weird tummy noises isn't exactly TMI, but I'm surprised at like what some people consider TMI and what some people don't. I mean, naturally, everybody's gonna have like a different kind of tolerance level for it. I mean, naturally, but still, it's like I'm not sure exactly like where some people draw the line. To be perfectly honest. Okay. Go. Then from there, we can use a slightly darker shadow to kind of make up for those lines that we lost earlier. You know, these kind of like stitches here and there. All right, I gotta hustle too because we're running out of time a little bit. It's getting late a little bit for me, so and I want to finish this up real quick. So I am gonna hustle a little bit. All right, this is no longer a chill, relaxed stream. We are now on 100% hustle lockdown. All right, I better see y'all grinding like a mortar and pestle, I guess. I'm not super into like that whole kind of grind set thing. Not familiar with the terminology. Yeah, speed run. Okay. Luckily, the only things kind of left are the dress and the jacket here, and those shouldn't take too long. Okay. Oh wait, I can use the stuff from the shade from the heels. All right. Okay. Wait, no, it's a slightly different color. Right. Okay. So this will work for the jacket, but not so much for the. What do you call the? I am forgetting the word. Cuff. The cuff. It won't work so well for the cuff. Okay. Okay. There we go. Where's the little reference that I had? Oh, there they are. I also have to remember to do the hair. Well, that shouldn't be too much of a problem, though. Okay. So the shadows on this side are, like, closer on this side. Whenever I have to draw a lot of little squares like this, I remember ravioli. Like the food, not anybody named ravioli. Like, it just reminds me of ravioli a little bit. Man, it's been a while since I've had ravioli. I should cook some soon. Although the first time I tried to make ravioli over here... yeah, food. Yeah, the first time I tried to make ravioli over here, I accidentally bought, like, way too much. And I was and from what I understood, you basically had to cook it all in one go. You couldn't refreeze it once it was unsealed. So what ended up happening is that I made like a solid 800 grams of ravioli, which how much was that be in? Like, okay, so like maybe half a pound of ravioli. Again, not really sure. I'm not super familiar with metric units. I should try to work on that a little bit. But yeah, it was a lot of ravioli basically. And I had to basically eat it all in about the span of a week. And it was tasty, but at the end of it I was pretty much done with ravioli for a while. So that's why it's only kind of a sometimes food for me. You know, besides the like obvious more health conscious reasons, like that's also why. Okay. There we go. Over here. These kind of look like little monster mouths, don't they? Like if you look at them in an abstract way, it looks a little bit like the face you'd carve into a jack-o'-lantern. All right, then over here. Whoops, that's not gonna work. Alright, perfect. Alright, then from there... Yeah, it does look like that a little bit, right? Okay. Man, I am really proud of how those lips came out. I don't usually draw a whole lot of makeup on my characters, so I'm always happy when it turns out nice. I wonder to what extent like skill with makeup would translate to proper art and vice versa. I remember there was like a what do you call, like an urban legend, urban myth, that apparently like the reason that a lot of women worked in the coloring department in Disney in like the really old days in like the 50s and such was because they were able to use like real makeup brushes on stuff like Cinderella or Snow White to achieve a more realistic effect for the makeup. I am pretty sure that story is bogus, but even if it isn't, like it still makes you wonder if it's possible to kind of translate those skills. I mean, to some extent, it must be right. Like, there's no one art that's like 100% untranslatable. You know, I think like if you learn how to do something, it's just not gonna really betray you. Hang on. Something with this face shading is bothering me. Okay, it is on this layer. Just gonna want to smooth it out a little bit here. There we go. I'm satisfied with that. Okay, right here. Okay, the jacket's pretty much done, I think. Maybe some on this part here. Okay. I don't know why, but this jacket feels kind of velvety to me. You know, like I'm trying to place a texture on it, and like the one that comes closest to me is like silk or some kind of velvet on the trim here. I do like how this foot is just kind of hanging out over here. Okay. Next is the dress. Do you guys remember though? Wasn't there like a TV series called Say Yes to the Dress? I remember that, like, for some reason, right? There were like a lot of TV shows about like brides and such. Like basically, they would kind of follow the bride around while she was planning the wedding, and essentially the whole kind of crux of the show was showing like, oh, how like the kind of meltdowns she had. What? Excuse me. The kind of meltdowns she had while she was planning the wedding, and I've always thought those were like really, really weird. Yeah, exactly. Like I've heard, like I think there was one called like Bridezilla or something, which always seemed like very, very, like when I was young I didn't understand it, but like now I understand it. One, it is kind of like trying to capitalize a little bit on that idea that like, oh, women are crazy, you know, that kind of like sexist stuff. But also like I cannot bring myself to feel wholly unsympathetic towards these women, because like if they are planning like this huge event, like I could tell me explaining like small scale events, right? Imagine like planning a whole huge thing where you invite multiple families and have to worry about all kinds of different weird little like constraints and ideas and money. You know, it's gotta be a nightmare, right? So I cannot in good faith be like, oh yeah, this person is nuts for acting like this in this scenario. It's like they're in a high stress environment. Like I'm not gonna judge them for kind of snapping like that. I mean, obviously a lot of it is kind of unwarranted. You know, even if you have a reason to be high-strung, it's not an excuse to like yell at a poor random caterer who didn't get the order right for your weird racist uncle who lives in Nebraska or some shit. I don't know. I don't know what kind of drama they usually have, but at the same time, I can't be like, okay, it does feel like very exploitative, like in retrospect. Yeah, I think that's the word, exploitative. Texture none, blending mode normal. That should be good. I don't know. Although that being said, sometimes you do feel like they are a little bit too entitled. like I said, even if you do have like reasons to be stressed out, you really shouldn't take it out on the poor people trying to help you. Okay, then from there we'll use the soft eraser on the belly over here. Okay. Alright, so let's get rid of all the clutter and see how it looks. Just nice and neat. The hair. Forgot the hair. Can't forget the hair. Can't rest just yet, son. Alright. Yeah, thankfully this shouldn't be too much of an issue, especially if I can kind of just select the whole color. Alright. I had an idea for how to do this. Alright, so first, kind of like, okay, so what, the pointillism brush, here we go. Yeah, because this pointillism brush has like a lot of dappled qualities to it, it comes out really well on parts like this, on kind of like the back of the hair here. And we can throw in some lighter ones just for good measure. In any case, it creates like this kind of very rich kind of layering, which I am very, very happy with. And back to dark. Okay, cool. Check that out. Alright. Okay, now we may kind of get rid of the clutter. Not much, to be perfectly honest. Alright, cool. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is, first of all, apply a color gradient to this layer because something about it is bothering me. And then we'll also apply a color gradient to kind of like the, what do you call it? How about... No. 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 Definitely not. Ooh, interesting. But no. I think I had a custom one around here somewhere. Right, no, it didn't transfer over. Damn it. Alright. Hang on, I got an idea for how to fix this. Hang on, what was I doing? Right, the gradient map. No, wait, that was what I was just doing. Tone curve, that's the one. I am all over the place today, my goodness. Okay, then we're gonna like kind of snap all these up into one big trunk. A lot of layers in here. I'm very proud of myself for that. I'm always happy when I have a lot of layers because I used to very religiously just keep it to 1 or 3 layers, right? So whenever I have like more layers, I feel like it kind of reminds me of how far I've come a little bit. All right, so first of all, gradient map. Ooh, sunset's nice. Okay. I forgot that I need to copy and paste this. All right. Gradient map, sunset. How about blue sky? Nah, sunset's nice. Oh my god, yeah. Okay. Here we go. Alright. Well, I think that is all for today. We've got a nice little piece there for us. I'm very happy with how it came out. I honestly feel like I did a really good job with this one. I'm very happy with it. Alright, let's go back to the just chatting screen. Alright. Up we go. I always like it when like the chat and when like the little chat there in the background is like full of. It's very funny to me. In the meantime, let's find somebody to raid. But yeah, do check out t0asterp0p if you get the chance. Hang on, where's the creator dashboard? Ah, here we go. Alright, who all is doing stuff? I gotta check on something first before I before I do this. Hang on. Alright, let's go say hi to Kacham, who is drawing stuff. He's a very cool guy. So let's go say hi. Alright. Everybody have a good rest of your week. I will see you all on Wednesday. Later.